let's begin. I'll start my timer. Okay, so we are going to start in a single leg drain. And this is a relaxed version of an inversion. So we're gonna come to the wall here, and you want your bottom leg to be at 90 degrees. And then the top leg is just gonna walk up the wall like so. And then I'm going to grab my pillow and rest my head here. If you wanna use another pillow, maybe in front to rest your elbow and shoulder here, whatever's comfortable, so that you're really supported here. If it feels good to you, you can open your body and open your hip. But again, being in the third trimester, I really want to limit my time on my back. So we're coming into a single leg drain here for our first restorative pose. And just closing our eyes and becoming as still as you can for the next few minutes. Observing the rhythm of your breathing. And following the breath with your mind. Feeling the earth supporting you. And letting go of any gripping and tension in your muscles and in your mind. With every breath, allowing the support of the earth to hold you here. And now entering our body through this doorway of the breath. We'll begin to follow our breath throughout our entire body. Inhaling through the crown of our head, all the way down, out the toes. And as you exhale, exhaling up the body, through the feet, out the crown of the head. Feeling space with every breath. And letting go of tension with every exhale. Creating this intention to fully immerse yourself in the sensations of this restorative practice of gratitude. And as you're settling in, find gratitude for your breath. A sign you are alive and anything is possible. Restorative yoga is all about quieting the chatter in our mind and giving ourselves space to notice what thoughts arise, as this is our insight to our own suffering. So when we give ourselves the space to listen. We can become aware of the games our mind plays on us. And just notice what stresses us out. So if your mind is really busy, that's okay. Just listen without attaching to those thoughts. And then you can come back to it later, because those are probably the things on your mind that you need to address. But right now, you're giving your body the time and the space to open, so that we can open these lines of communication between our mind and our body. So as you hear the chatter of the mind, come back to our intention for this pose of feeling gratitude for your breath. And notice how that shifts the energy in your being. Now starting to deepen the breath, breathing all the way down through the crown of the head into the feet. And back out through the bottom of the feet, through the crown of the head. As you slowly start to draw that top leg down to meet the bottom leg, laying in the fetal position for a moment here. And then staying as close to the ground as you can to shift over to the other side. So I will not be facing you for this, I apologize, but just getting yourself into it is what's important. And so we'll shift over so that our bottom leg is at 90 degrees and the bottom of our foot, I don't know if you can see the bottom foot, it's just a 90-degree angle and it's pressing up against the floor. And then I'm going to put a pillow under my head and in front of my arm to rest for my single leg drain, and then walk your top leg up the wall. So you're laying on your side and your bottom leg is at 90 degrees and your top leg is just resting on the wall and supported here. So if it feels good for you, you can open up your arms so you're laying on your back, and you might feel more of an opening in the hip and in the shoulders. Feel free to do that. But for me and where I'm at, I just need to lay on my side. So this is a way that you can do this safely. Do an inversion safely in your third trimester. So good information. And then settling back into our breath as we bring our focus to a statement of gratitude. As you breathe calmly, consider one part of your body for which you are especially grateful for. gratitude for your feet and all the adventures they take you on. Feeling the sensations of giving your feet a break. An amazing pose for sore feet and ankles and calves. If you're on your feet all day, which most of us are, just letting all that blood come back down and into our heart to recirculate, getting a fresh new blood supply into our feet and into our calves, while giving them support. Continuing to feel supported by the wall and by the earth. As you breathe calmly and continue to feel gratitude for your feet and a part of your body. Now starting to deepen your breath. Be taking a little movement with the toes and with the ankle, possibly flexing the foot or making some circles with that top ankle. We'll draw that top leg back down, resting in the fetal position, and we'll remove the pillows so that we can lay on our back. We're gonna go into our last legs up the wall pose, wide legs up the wall. So laying on our backs, or you can shift into the fetal position and then bring your bottom all the way to the wall, because we want to get as close to the wall as possible. And then laying back down and flipping ourselves so our legs are up the wall. It helps to have a blanket under the hips here, so that you can allow the pelvis to completely relax. But then once you're here, we're going to let our legs just gently fall to the side. This is going to be different for everybody, and I'm going to use my blocks underneath the legs, so as they open, I'm going to have a little bit of support here, because just gravity is really going to help open up your hips. Now you might want to bend your knees a little bit if that takes some of the pressure off and is more comfortable. But just wiggle yourself as close to the wall as you can, and then whatever you want to do with your hands, over the head or maybe out to the side. But just spread out. Give yourself space to completely spread out, opening your heart, opening your throat. Inhaling space into the hips. Exhaling, feeling the sensations of gravity and of letting go. Coming back to our breath. back to feeling our body. And as our hearts are completely wide open, and as we practice gratitude today, consider a friend or a mentor who is dear to you and all you've learned from him or her. Allow the thought of this person to inspire feelings of love and gratitude in your heart. Noticing now if you're clenching any muscles in your jaw or face, and relaxing those muscles. Notice anywhere else you may be holding tension in your back or your shoulders. What would it feel like to let that tension go? Allowing your breath to breathe you intuitively. Not trying to change anything, and letting any worries go, wondering if you're doing it right or wrong. If you can lean in and go a little bit deeper, use your breath and lean in. And as always, if you need to back out, go ahead and back out. Now as we start to transition out of this, wide legs up the wall, we'll slowly bring our hands to the outsides of our thighs. And just using one leg at a time, we're going to slowly draw one of our legs up the wall and let that leg settle down. And then we'll use the other hand to press our other leg up the wall. And just notice the space that you've created and allow that fresh surge of circulation and blood to move through your hips and into your back. You've just created a lot of space in your low back and in your hips and your pelvis. Really, really good for the reproductive organs. So now we'll slowly roll over to the fetal position. And then just staying here for a moment, taking a breath, letting it go. And then we'll press ourselves up nice and slow. And coming up to seated for our reclined bound angle pose. So let's set up our recliner. I really love to do this one every restorative class. And so we'll take our blocks and set one flat and one tall, or using your couch or multiple pillows stacked up. And we'll set up our recliner like that. And then for our knees, maybe you just put a couple pillows underneath your knees today. One under each knee like so. Bringing yourself up to the bolster. And then taking our blanket and just folding it up the long way so that we can bring it over our feet and under our calves and pull it through. And then we lay back into Supta Baddha Konasana, recline bound angle pose, opening up the arms, and maybe here, if you have an eye pillow, you put that on. And then close your eyes and settle in for the next few minutes. And as you open your heart and your shoulders and your throat, find gratitude for all of the courage you've summoned in your life and how it's helped you through challenges, big and small. Noticing the chatter in the mind. And coming back to feeling gratitude for your own courage. As it takes a lot of courage and bravery to practice restorative yoga. It takes a lot of courage to slow down and be still with our thoughts. Most of the time, we stay busy and find things to do. Subconsciously running away from our own thoughts. And when we listen, we can identify the causes of our own suffering and acknowledge them by either listening and doing something about it or letting them go because they do not serve us anymore. So feel gratitude for your courage for showing up today. Starting to bring attention and awareness into your hands and your fingers. We'll draw the hands to the outsides of the thighs and gently bring the knees together. And then removing the blanket or just removing it with our legs, we're going to slowly extend both of our legs. Just for a moment to notice all of that space that we have opened up and our low back, and the front of the hips, and now the shoulders. And we'll roll over to our side, pressing ourselves up, just noticing how you feel. And we'll set up for our final two poses, one on each side. This is a side lying Shavasana, and it feels delicious. So I'm gonna build a little fort here with my bolster and blocks. You can stack up your pillows nice and high, because when we lay on our side here, we're gonna throw our top leg up on this. So just as if you're laying in bed, you're gonna straighten your bottom leg and slide your bottom arm through. And then you'll bring that top leg on top of the bolster, like this. And then you can do whatever you want with your upper body. So I'm just gonna lay on the pillow here. Maybe you reach your top arm overhead if that feels good. That actually feels pretty good. So just stretching out the side. But this is going to increase circulation to your hips and your kidneys. So just allowing that top leg to be really heavy and your top arm to be really heavy. And then we begin to listen. Listening to our breath. As we find gratitude for an aspect of our life or a talent that you hold, that you appreciate. As you're here for another minute, feel what else you can let go of here. Any tension that you're holding, what would it feel like to let that tension go? Taking 3 deep breaths in through the crown of your head, all the way down to your feet. Exhaling up through the feet and out the crown of the head. 2 more breaths. And then begin to draw that top arm down if it's over the head. And you'll press yourself up just enough to bring that bottom arm underneath you, sitting up to the elbow. And then rolling over to the other side to set up that side. Taking whatever props with you. As we settle into our final resting pose, our side lying Shavasana, we'll straighten our bottom leg and we'll slide our bottom arm underneath us, laying our head on our pillow, and then bringing our top knee up on our bolster or on our pillows. And you want that top knee to be at about 90 degrees. You want your entire leg to be supported on those pillows. And then we just scoot a little bit closer so you can feel that hip completely relax. You always have the option to open that top arm over if you can. That can be a little bit intense on the shoulder, and remember, this is restorative and supportive, so you don't want to feel like you're having to put any effort into this posture. And then settling into our final side lying Shavasana for our practice. Finding compassion and gratitude for your own journey, for all your strengths and all of your struggles. Listening to your breath and how it intuitively fills you up. this next minute, just notice if there's anywhere else in your body that you could let tension go. Completely surrendering within and without. Now very slowly starting to bring awareness into your bottom arm and your top arm, drawing that top arm down the side if it was above your head, and pressing yourself up enough so you can sit up to that elbow. And then with a heavy head and open heart, coming up to seated. As you close your eyes, bringing one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly. Observing the rhythm of your breathing and feeling the air flowing in and out. Feeling the life energy inside your body. Allowing everything to be. Now bringing our hands before our heart center, calling in compassion and gratitude for all beings everywhere, wishing them health, happiness, and ease on their journeys. The light and love that is me humbly bows to the light and love that is you. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you have a wonderful day.